have one in every single classroom.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do with them. They were always chained to the floor, which was really fun when you were trying to lecture because you had to remember to pick up your feet so you wouldn't
Trip over it.
and fall on your face.
Well, there's been many times over the last several years when I wish that happened.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, perfect.
And I can really see a lot of,
Well, that's kind of why it's Ellen's actually. She's had it sitting there forever, and we kept trying to donate her to do this, and I'm like, okay, what? I go, it's going in the sale on Saturday.
yeah, no, I would use
I've
it.
gone through my whole.
I
garage.
intended to do the sale, but my best friend was moving to South Dakota.
So you're going to have to renotice me.
Okay.
Okay, the meeting of July 18th, 2018 has come to order. Apologize for the delay. We had a little technical difficulty.
Bob, are we projecting this to live? Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna, while we double check that, preface this video to kind of introduce it to you a little bit. We have been working on with Julia and I and Karen with the communications group. Caroline and her summer intern Johnson have been working on a video series for waste sorting videos. So there will be 4 total videos. We only have 1 to show you today, and for whatever reason we weren't able to get that final video to load. So this is one, there are a few edits we've made just in the last couple hours this afternoon. We are maybe open to minor suggestions on a few things, but Julia's last day is today. She's leaving us, so we won't be able to do a whole lot as far as filming, but really this was a project that we gave some minor direction to the interns and wanted them to really kind of run with it as an intern project, really with a goal of making them creative, funny, the kind of things that people will watch, short snippets, and the whole series that covers the waste sorting. So,
Awesome.
Great.
with that introduction, let's see if we can make this work.
That's hilarious.
I don't know where my sound is, but...
Oh, that's awesome.
That's really cute.
It's gotta be even better with sound, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us what it says?
Hear very much?
Well, very little. I mean, like, we have a gist of what it
I was
says.
gonna say, Julia, do you remember your lines? Can you just,
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
So we have essentially Julia comes in with her napkin, tries to throw it in the trash can. The trash can starts talking to her and tells her, hey, you, that doesn't go in the trash. And she says, oh, it doesn't matter. Big gasp, spits the napkin at her, and then starts to tell her why it's so important. And so, yes, that does go in the compost because it's going to biodegrade. We're going to turn it into compost. We can use it to amend the soil. And by the way, Scavenger also uses an anaerobic digester, and then they turn that into biofuel for the trucks. And wow, all that from just my napkin?
Yeah.
It's the circle of life.
That's awesome.
That
That is very cute.
It's really good. I'm so happy to see this. I really am.
Yeah.
It's been a vision for a long time.
Well,
You did a great job.
I can't wait for you to all actually see
See
and
it
hear
and
the
hear.
whole series when it's really done.
I
That's
can't wait to see it on Channel 27.
Yes.
We just saw the video that Julia made, except they couldn't load it on the actual thing, so
So we had to listen. You couldn't hear it. So we'll see it again.
Yeah.
Video.
it's
And
cute.
we'll get a link to it or something. It's really cute. She did something that's very comical and, attention grabbing. And
Although I did not see it, I have the utmost faith that it is marvelous.
It's pretty cute.
Yeah, it is. It is cute.
Okay, so we want to, well, should we go to the next page, adopt the agenda?
I move that we adopt the agenda unless anyone has any additions to it.
Could we see it again?
Yeah, I was waiting for it to come up.
Yeah, come up on the screen.
There you go. Okay.
I second the motion to adopt the agenda.
Okay. Agenda's been adopted. And we'll move on to oral communications. Again, we don't have anybody here, so,
The multitudes are out
yes,
there.
the multitudes of public comments. So we'll move on to approval of the minutes. And hopefully, I don't know if everybody had a chance to read them, but if anybody had any, I thought they were fine myself.
Yeah, I move that we approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I second.
Okay,
I will abstain this time.
all right. Great,
I have to abstain too because I wasn't.
because you weren't here. So, great, then the minutes have been approved.
Just, I want to make sure we can approve the minutes with just 3 yes and 2 abstaining.
I don't think we can.
I
Okay.
don't know if we could, because that's not
Were you
really,
here last time?
I did, but I am fortunate I was not feeling well and I did not read them.
oh, hon.
Be honest and abstain. I missed reading them this time.
What should we
So
do?
we'll just have to do that next time. It's a small procedural
Oh, then
thing.
we can't upload them to the website, though.
Oh.
Okay, so we'll just approve them next meeting and not have them on the website.
So you
Until-
voted 3-2, so if that.
Yeah, if we have
Or
such
no,
a...
we voted
We'll upload.
3 yes, 2
To
abstentions.
abstain,
Yeah.
because,
Glenn wasn't here and I was feeling under the weather and went...
Thought we were meeting.
And I wanted to be honest about that. Since we have such an incredibly light agenda, I could probably skim through them really quick. If
We do have a
everybody
very
wants to
light
take a
agenda.
water break, and then we can just be done with it. It's the committee's pleasure.
Do you have
Sounds good to me.
do you have printed ones?
Yeah, I mean, okay.
do we need to do that before we move past to the presentation? Oh, we just did that. That was the hot.
We can come back to approval
Yeah.
of the minutes.
Okay, let's come back to that
Okay.
then.
Because I don't know if you can do 2 different things at once, but we could show the pictures from the Habitat Day while she reads the minutes. Okay. All right. So now we're on.
Summer intern. Julia,
Yeah, unfortunately, it's printed so small, it's not legible. Maybe you can read it, but.
Maybe I can. Let me try that.
Bob is going to print you a copy of the
Okay,
minutes.
Okay, we'll just do that then.
Yeah, he's running to do that now, so we can go ahead with the presentation while we do that, and we'll come back to the minutes at the end.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
that.
much. That works well.
all right, Julia.
Hello, hi everyone. My name is Julia Deschaume, and this summer I was a intern for City Hall, working with Adrian on some sustainability projects. So a little about myself. I grew up in Brisbane. While growing up, I went to BES and Lippman, and while there, I was in the Brisbane Mountaineers Club. So the mountain was my playground growing up. And I did sports in Brisbane Dance Workshop and some student leadership organizations like YAC, Youth Advisory Council. And I grew up going to Habitat Restoration, so I've been going to them since I was about 5, and ultimately that has motivated me to study environmental science right now.
Yay.
And so currently I'm at Cornell University. Oh, sorry, next slide. Currently I'm at Cornell University studying environmental science with a concentration in sustainability management. And here are some pictures of me in my courses. So one is of me learning about the ecosystems in upstate New York at the Finger Lakes, and another is at Cornell's Lab of Ornithology, learning about different bird species, and then the center is campus. So I've done some research while at Cornell, some educational research and some research in biology with invasive species in the Adirondacks. And for the past year, I've been a teaching assistant for the Natural Resources Department's MOOC program, Massive Open Online Course. And I've helped teach with about 8 of them, and each course has upwards of 2,000 students anyone can take them remotely. And I've looked over some of their proposals. At the end of the course, they submit proposals to their local government and other environmental agencies. So some of the proposals have been in Tanzania and Taiwan, and I am planning on graduating in December, so a semester early, and I will either go to grad school or go join the workforce. So this summer, Adrian and I did some projects. Here's a list of them. So we dealt with a Cal Recycle grant, the purchasing guide, waste sorting, educational videos, CAP staff training, and the Green Business certification. And here's some photos of when we visited South San Francisco Scavenger. That was a really fun trip. And next slide. So with the Cal Recycle grant, City Hall got money to put towards recycling containers or towards containers made of recycled material. So Adrian and I visited different city facilities and got a sense of what they needed, what waste sorting needs they had in terms of containers, and the Brisbane Marina, Brisbane Pool, and Brisbane Fire Department all got new recycling containers and compost containers. They should be getting those within the next few weeks.
Great. Thank you.
And we also worked on the purchasing guide. So I worked with Jeanette Maldonado with the police department on getting more sustainable products for cleaning products and maintenance products for the City Hall. And now we are using Starline Supply Company, and they have a large variety of sustainable products that will use less chemicals and produce less waste. For example, we're going to be using more products that, for example, paper products, they won't be bleached and they will be made of recycled materials.
Nice.
And as you saw, we worked on some waste sorting videos. This was definitely a very fun experience this summer. As Adrian said, we created 4 videos, so 1 for trash, compost, container recycling, and paper recycling. And we noticed our motivation in making these was we noticed a lot of residents don't know where to put certain things, but it's not necessarily they don't want to recycle, it's just hard to keep track of what goes where. So we tried to focus on things that are very confusing, like maybe paper napkins or certain plastic containers of different colors. And we plan on posting them on Facebook, Instagram, the city's website, YouTube, and any other platforms. And here are some photos of when we visited South San Francisco Scavenger, and then 2 of us filming in City Hall. So there's the talking trash can and the stage.
Tell us how you did the talking trash can.
So Adrian was actually on the second floor with,
Did you have
with fishing lines. And then at the end of the fishing lines were metal knives from the kitchen. So it was like a puppet. It was really funny.
Those are funny.
It was an arm workout too. So yeah, so that was really fun doing those, and they should be done soon. And then yeah.
Here's a video, but
And then we also did some climate action plan staff training. Currently there's a presentation, so I just kind of went through some slides and updated a few things with up-to-date statistics and up-to-date information involving green business requirements for getting the certification. And lastly, green business certifications. So Adrian, Karen, and I went to a RICAPS event, and we just talked with different people from different cities, and it was really eye-opening seeing different cities bounce ideas off each other and get an understanding of how to improve their different facilities. And at least with the group I was talking to, a major subject was EV chargers and the future of EV, and it was really interesting hearing different perspectives on that. And I think it was my first week, Adrian took me to a networking event for green business, and I met a lot of different people from different industries. I actually met Adrian's dry cleaner who runs a certified green business, and it was interesting seeing she started her dry cleaning business using the normal way with a lot of chemicals, and seeing her transition and get the certification to use less chemicals. And it was really interesting seeing different businesses. There was a brewing company, and it was just interesting seeing different industries get involved. And Adrian and I also met with a representative from Green Business to update our different requirements, and we're pretty close to getting the certification. There's different updates that happen every couple months, so we went over the different specifics, and we're very close to getting the certification. One thing I did this summer that was one of my projects was getting rid of all the junk mail around City Hall. So I got a huge pile of magazines that is just junk mail, and unsubscribed to that. So little things like that add up.
Good.
And just special thanks to everyone. I want to thank Adrian for a great summer and showing me the ropes. It's been a wonderful time getting to know the different avenues of sustainability.
That's awesome.
I want to thank you for your really hard work, and especially your hard work last Saturday. There's Julie up there in the dumpster pushing down the ivy and rolling it down the hill, and she even made her parents come out and work with her.
That's awesome.
So that was great because, get them when they're young and then keep them close. 'Cause, Julie's been doing habitat restoration since you were 5.
Yeah, about 5.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So you can really see the difference it makes.
Yeah, definitely.
So thank
So,
you so much for
Question
your work.
for the junk mail. I'm unsubscribing. I mean, in case anybody else wants to do that. I mean, how difficult is that? Because I kind of did that for my dad at one time. You just kind of go through, find the call them up. Is it difficult? Is it easy, or some easier than others?
Well, actually,
in case
it's-
anyone else is interested.
Yeah, it's easier now because there's websites like I was using Catalog Choice, and you can just search different catalogs, and they have either the number already there, or you can just enter your address and they can stop it for you,
Excellent.
so free of charge. So
Are
that's
there
what I
phone
did.
calls or emails or
Mhm.
both? Some of
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
It's an industry that I've worked in for the last 35 years, and while direct mail marketing is an important conduit and is still, used a lot, and but companies that send direct mail don't want to send it to people who don't want it or have no interest in it because it is expensive. It's
yeah.
costly. And when you send it to the right people, it's very productive. And when you send it to the people who are not interested, it's a waste.
Right.
And so, responsible companies are very responsive to you calling them and saying I do. And then you need to be aware that, list processing takes a while, and sometimes it can be a few weeks before those changes take effect. So,
Yeah.
because stuff's already in the stream. And so it's not instantaneous.
right.
It's not like it's going to stop tomorrow, but it takes a good 4 to 6 weeks sometimes. So
That's great.
patience is a virtue if that's what you really want.
Yeah. Well, I just think that's something, I don't know if we've talked about that before, but I think that's something that we should all do, when we don't want it, because it just goes into the trash. I mean, I literally go and just walk right over to the trash can when I get my mail. Well, recycle, of course I meant I walk it over to the paper recycling. Recycle.
Thanks for the help. I just wanted to know, has your internship changed your mind or shaped what you think you want to do after you graduate?
Yeah, I'm interested in sustainability management, and at first I was more curious about research, but I quickly realized that's not what I want to do. And meeting different people that Adrian has connected me to in different industries has really opened my eyes to how many different avenues you can go within this, because you can go private sector or government. So yeah, I think it opened my eyes.
Cool.
I was wondering, can you enumerate our stumbling blocks in terms of the city getting its green business certification?
Yeah, there's it's basically like a checklist that we went through. There's a lot of different things. Some things involved different, for example, the flow of faucets, or what our current lighting and different technology in terms of the computers, how much energy they use. So there's quite a few things. Also chemicals we use for cleaning. So there's a lot of different avenues, but that's mostly.
So is it just a case of working through stuff, or are you having specific roadblocks in specific areas?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, most of it was not that difficult in terms of like we already had it, but some of the things were a little switch. Maybe like next time something breaks down, get a different product that is more sustainable. So a lot of it might be like in the future purchases. So I think that's the main.
A couple things from my notes. Clean products. The place that our e-waste was going, we weren't using a place that was certified, so switching that. The CAP staff training will get us across the line, because a bunch of things are employees know to do this, employees know to purchase this over that. So without that, there's a hole that fills most.
And you don't have to wait till you've purchased to prove that you've done it to get, yeah.
No, you've just educated people. They don't audit you.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Promoting public transit and carpooling. I think the lights, they wanted to re-audit the lighting. Yeah. Recycling furniture. They had some resources too. They had their county resources they said they'd be available to help us with the training, and
Awesome.
they have, places to recycle products, and definitely a good resource that we didn't know was so, available to us.
And do we have a list of those so we can put them on our website?
Well, these are for our
Larger for us, not, for
Yeah,
the
so they
county and the
have
city, not for personal.
Yeah, so they can augment, if you're trying to get green business certified, they can help you with a couple of things. They can start you off. They have some money that they could grant you, so
Okay,
I think it doesn't apply to the general public.
yeah, okay.
I have a question.
Thank you very much.
Julia, too. What was the most surprising aha moment when you went to see the South San Francisco scavengers?
One thing that actually we couldn't go, but Johnson, the media intern, went to, was there was like a belt that had huge magnets that could get all the metals, and then the rest. I think they shot just air to get the paper to fly, kind of to get out of the belt. So just seeing that sorting, and also actually I was talking to Teresa, who gave us the tour at Scavenger, and it was actually really sad. She was saying someone who comes often is companies like Goodwill and Salvation Army, and you see a lot of that waste just because they're inundated with all this
Stuff they can't
secondhand.
sell.
Yeah. So that was eye-opening to see all that waste.
How many catalogs did you unsubscribe to?
We're going back to the subscription.
Yeah.
That's I would say maybe 50 or 60.
Okay.
There were a lot. Yeah.
That's a lot.
But there's multiple of each of those. So
And you just went to that catalog choice website
Mhm.
and unsubscribed there.
yeah.
I mean,
And
that's an easy, that's a good tool to have.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
yeah, it's
so-
really helpful, and For some reason, a lot of the companies had like 10 people in City Hall, but it was the same magazine, so it's easy
Okay.
to do that just because they have a huge variety.
Thanks. Thank you.
Maybe we can put that link to that website on our page.
Be aware that if you are a customer of one of the companies, you should call the company directly to unsubscribe
Right.
for a catalog. If you're a customer, because
Well, that makes sense.
that's part of the DMA, Direct Marketing Association. I don't know what they call themselves now. Best practices and ethics is that if you're a customer, you've bought from this company, then they don't necessarily use the catalog choice for
choice.
you.
Okay.
Okay, or the DMA suppression file. So, like for instance, if you buy from Target, and Target sends you stuff, you need to call Target directly.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay,
Good. Thank you.
making sure everybody knows how to use it properly.
Can I say something? I expected at least a couple of you to ask Julia about the Youth Advisory Committee and how to engage
Julia,
minors.
what about the Youth Advisory Committee? No, I'm glad you brought that up.
Efforts.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in it in, I think, high school, and I remember we met at the teen center when it was there. I think every month or so. And it wasn't too engaging as it should have been, because I think students weren't very, I guess, motivated to do stuff or didn't know how to, but who were on it. But I think it has a lot of potential. I know there were certain things, like it was called yak attacks, that were meetings just in the area, and different yak groups met up and discussed what they were doing. But I think
How would we get more involved in that, or bring them in to what we're doing?
Yeah, staff can connect. It's the Park and Recreation Department staff that works with that committee. I think it's Ricardo Monroy specifically. And for a while they weren't meeting, probably maybe after you were in it, and they've just started up maybe like a year or something ago. So I think I asked for something for Complete Streets, and they said, yeah, we can.
Perfect.
Julia, do you think high schoolers or younger kids would be interested in making a series of amateur videos about the environment and the issues that we're facing and solutions?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Like with Johnson, he was always making videos, he said, in high school, just like different projects for friends or teachers and stuff. So I think that's a great idea. I know a lot of kids have the latest cameras and video things, so I think people also have the necessary items.
And what do you think would be a good way to motivate them to participate? Cash prize, honors, having it shown on TV or what?
Yeah, I think honestly, I'm surprised more people aren't already asking about it and stuff, about like to put on their college applications or stuff like that. But I guess like a cash prize might be motivating.
So is there certain classes that we would go to talk to? I mean, which in school, when you're in high school, who would we go to talk to say which group would be most interested? Do you know?
I think I went to Mercy and Burlingame, so I didn't go to Terra Nova or any of the public schools, but I think most of them have classes like media classes.
Okay.
And things like that, or some sort of art class or video class.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to put you on the spot. That I mentioned to you before, but is there any angle for us with Littman kids and needing their volunteer hours to get them engaged in like habitat restoration or any of the other things that would fit like 7th to 8th grade? Do you remember how that works? Do you have anything you can tell us?
Any other events or any way to motivate?
But how does it work? They have to get volunteer hours throughout the years. Do most of the kids wait till kind of the end of the year and?
Get them all in at once?
I think most people wait till the end of the year. They forget. I think honestly, a lot of people don't know much about the event, and maybe they don't associate it with these hours they can get credit for. But maybe just like even telling the teachers at Lippman and stuff, I think that's a good idea.
Getting them back involved.
Yeah, getting them back involved and reminding them, I guess.
And they have to get their volunteer hours by the end of the school year, or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Does that apply to middle school?
Yeah,
Lippman.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lippman.
They have to do it in middle school?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And high school, but middle school for us probably.
Cool.
Thank you.
So we should probably start looking at that maybe in March, right? To get them February?
Yeah,
January.
yeah.
But they aren't going to even think about it till May, April. I mean, we know how people are. We're all the same way.
First day,
Yeah.
that should be our target.
Yeah. Okay.
So Julia, we'll see you back here in December, huh? Okay.
Thank you. Okay, we're on to subcommittee reports, assignments, and goals.
Nothing new on the open space.
Mm-mm.
No, we haven't had it.
Cap.
Can we, well, schedule something soon?
Yeah, what I said last time was
Yeah.
we wanted to see what came out of PCA and see if those fit together.
Right.
Now we know that we should just have the open space meeting.
Climate action plan. I think you guys had talked about getting together. Did anything happen there?
We did meet on the 5th of July, and I'm trying to remember what we did. We had another long meeting. I think mostly what we did was, didn't we just go over the climate action plan because to orient Ross? Isn't that what we?
No, last time we went over,
Bye.
bye.
Thank you.
The CAP measures to think about what we wanted to tackle next.
Oh, that's
time.
right.
It was the very beginning of kind of feeling our way through our next CAP.
Yeah. So,
And we have a meeting scheduled for next Thursday.
yeah.
Perfect. Okay, and events, Day in the Park, we know that's coming
Oh,
up.
Actually, hang on. Can we back up to events? So I sent a doodle poll to the events subcommittee. I've only had 2 responses so far, but of those 2, there's only one time that works. So I
When
think
is
our
it?
other committee members are.
Rogers and
Hang on. Let's see. Hang on.
It's Mary, me, and Claire.
So Michelle and Mary, are you able to meet next Wednesday, 5:30 to 7, or
yeah.
something
so,
thereabouts,
yeah.
perhaps?
Yeah.
That's the 25th.
Yes, Wednesday the 25th.
And you guys are working on Day in the Park that day? Is that the Day in the Park?
That would be, yeah, to discuss Day in the Park would be the primary.
Good.
5:30.
5:30.
Is
Here?
that a little too, I mean, we may be able to, I could check with Claire, probably doing 6 to 7:30 would be better for her, and I think that would still be
Either, yeah, that's fine.
fine for us.
Would be better for me.
Yeah.
I think we can probably do that.
Okay, thank you.
I will make a note of it. I'll follow up by email, but I just checked that doodle poll this afternoon and realized there was only one time, so I figured let's just
do
go
that.
ahead and go with that if we can.
And we had a very successful habitat restoration day. I guess you can show those slides right off the stick if you want.
Well, no, because they're on my laptop still.
Oh,
We
no,
gotta show them off that laptop.
can you put the stick in that laptop?
If they're done copying to my other thing.
Oh, they should be. There's not that many.
Yep. They are.
Oh,
I
cool.
just haven't
I
been-
only made it for the first part. Did more people show up?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good.
Quite a lot more.
Yes.
Wait till you see. You're going to be like, whoa. So I was just ecstatic because I thought we would probably get some of the ivy off some of the trees, but we actually did so much and way more than I expected. And I just really want to say how much hard work that Adrian and Bob and Jeff Franco and Ariel and Julia did on Saturday. They were like super people. It was amazing. So
Should be removable disc, right?
Yep, there
There we
we
go.
go. Okay.
Nice.
So this is the before picture of what the canyon was looking like. And you can just click through them pretty quick.
That's
Sorry, that
a
one's
lot of
sideways.
ivy. That's okay.
Lots and lots of ivy choking the trees.
Wow.
Just ivy everywhere. Keep going. But just, and then, sorry I didn't flip these all right. This is Rescue's second habitat restoration day. So now we're starting to really pull it down from the hills, from the trees, and pull it down from the hillsides. And you can see people are just all over it, and it's pretty amazing. There's Claire.
Aw.
Came to work, and yeah, just keep going, keep going. There's Resky.
So cute.
He was all over that canyon.
Wow, look
Just
at
loving
Ariel.
it. And there's Ariel with him, and we just had some amazing workers, and they just kept at it all day up
Wow.
up the sides of the canyon. And
Wow.
you can see the transformation starting where they just roll these huge
Huge.
piles. We found lots of, he's a regular, he comes
Yeah.
to everyone.
Yep.
We found a lot of glass, a lot of debris. There's Julia. There's Jeff and I, when I sent this out for more help, send more help on Facebook. Sorry for the not sending them all.
That's okay.
And as you can see, it's quite a difference. And Bob definitely got down and dirty. And there's Jeff and Bob at the end, really. And this guy, he was just amazing. He obviously has done this before, and he would just roll these huge things of ivy down. There's Ariel, packing the dumpster and packing the dumpster. And there's Adrian, just covered in dirt and enjoying every minute of it.
And
And,
Poison Oak.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this is a frying pan that she found. Yeah. And here we're showing some various things that we found for toys, a rubber ducky, a
Oh, good.
fake
Sarah was there,
plant.
too.
Yeah, Sarah came in part of a baby thing. There's Julie getting really into her work. And there's Cliff.
Oh.
Cliff came after the library thing, and he actually got injured.
There at the library.
No, not at the library. Yeah, somebody took one of those gold
Well, it's
shovels.
like,
No, and then this is Resky, and he was he had the best
Oh, he's
day
adorable.
ever. So, like, we'll get in about 15 years, he'll be an intern here. And this family, they've come several times,
Yep.
and hard workers. And here's everybody getting their
Oh, I
T-shirts
like
and
the t-shirt
lunch. And
this
T-shirt was
year.
very well received. I
Nice
lost mine as soon as I got home. My husband's wearing it right now. And here's your city staff.
Yay.
Just a little, and then, this is Ari and I. Yeah, I got dirty, but I just didn't look like I was that dirty. So it was fun. And it's a little, there's Bob just like, oh my God, where's my sandwich? And this is,
That's amazing.
look at the
The difference.
Wow.
Okay.
So you gotta do
and-
the before and after shots on the website.
Yeah, it was just incredible. Here's her like doing the "we're gonna work hard" picture. I love
So
it.
cute. Adorable.
And I don't know if the little. Oh yeah, Bob tamping down that dumpster was completely full
Yeah.
of ivy,
That's amazing.
and we just kept packing it down, and here's the dream team.
Yay.
Yeah, and I think the video should be there too. Just a
Oh,
little.
might have to exit out of.
Look at that though. The difference.
Yeah, what a difference.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, just amazing.
That's wow.
So beyond my wildest expectations, there's the,
QuickTime movie.
so let's see. Oh, it's sideways.
That's okay. Jeez.
Ariel disappeared.
That's
Are you in the dumpster?
Get the rake and pull it over.
Sideways, it was great on my computer. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, there he is. Wave, Ariel. All right, turn around, smile, you guys.
Glad you didn't cover him up.
Yeah, really.
That's just great, you guys. I mean, the difference.
Yeah. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. All right. Good. 2, 3. Oh, you have to.
There it is. Woohoo!
That's it.
That's awesome.
So it really was pretty amazing, and people should drive by. It's on Humboldt Road, just southeast of San Mateo Lane, and the transformation of that canyon has definitely begun, and it is amazing. So, my sincere gratitude, especially to our hardworking staff.
So, sort of on a related subject, but I just read something today about an effort in Marin to extirpate Japanese knotweed. And the county got some money to hire somebody, and they're actually doing a survey of homeowners to see who, they're sending out a picture of the stuff, and they're doing a survey of homeowners to see who has it in their yard. And if they do, they're going to help them get rid of it. And I was just wondering if San Mateo County might consider anything like that, if we could ask them to.
That'd be great.
That'd be amazing.
Do you know any background of how that came to be?
No, I'm just on all these mailing lists, and I get all these emails, and got this one about, I think it was in Jake Sigg's Nature Notes, actually, was where it was. So I'll go back and see if I can find it. But apparently Japanese knotweed is just in the process of taking off in Marin County, so they're trying to get after it before it goes crazy. But I was thinking in Brisbane, that Brisbane's so small
Yeah.
that we might be able to get rid of certain things like cotoneaster in people's yards and pampas grass in people's yards, so it didn't spread anymore. Just wondering.
And the ivy and also the French and Scottish broom. I mean, it's
It just seems like the county maybe should take this problem more seriously, because we're fighting a losing battle here. We need some help. So I'll see if I can dig it up and send it to you. I'm not talking about the city, I'm talking about the county, but they found the money somewhere.
Yeah, I still have to go out and do my work to get the list of addresses of people who have trees that are inundated with ivy up in the habitat area.
I was thinking, watching that it might be a good location to plant some natives at the base of the canyon.
Yeah.
Enough sun. Next time we do one of those.
Mm-hmm. But we still have a lot more ivy removal. And one of the things that Adrian and I talked about on Saturday when we were done, and we're looking back up the canyon, we're like, ooh, do we have any funds to do maybe lay down some jute or some erosion control? Because we took out a lot of
I already made a note to ask On Point Land Management, whether they feel like we need that there or if we need anything.
Okay, that'd be great.
Good.
education outreach. Anything?
No new updates. We met, like a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Talked about the library, how we could spruce up educational materials and such.
Have we scheduled another meeting for education and outreach?
We have not yet. On my list.
Okay.
Coming soon.
Okay, and then invasive species ordinance.
Have not worked on that yet. We've had other.
Things in the way.
Yeah, Bob's working on doing some background research for us, yeah, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done any this month, but I can dive back in. If you think it makes sense to schedule a subcommittee meeting to put something on the deadline and then
Yeah, I
you
mean, I
want, or
think
do you want me to report back next OSEC?
I think it does. And then I'd also like to see what you've got so far, and that might inform where we want to go.
Okay, I will email you what I have so far, and then we can decide if you want to schedule a meeting.
Okay.
I'll send that to you tomorrow.
That'd be great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Bob.
And then festival tree replacement options with Park and Rec. That's kind of, what are we doing with that? We haven't done
I was
anything.
gonna send out an email. I got busy, so you asked if we could meet, and I was looking at, the last thing was that Ross said he had someone he wanted to ask about trees.
Exactly.
Right.
So I did a little Googling and I found, it was I think it's in Marin, and you can rent live Christmas trees. So it had about 10 varieties, and it talked about which were good trees to grow here and plant permanently. So I was gonna send that around and have
That'd be
you
great.
guys take
Thank
a
you.
look and say, oh, we like these 3, we don't like these 2, and then maybe we can have that be a starting point.
That's great.
I'm just a little concerned. I feel like when we're looking for trees, we need to look to the south, because the climate is marching north. So I would personally feel better about, rather than Marin, looking for things that grow well in like San Jose.
You still want to
Or-
I didn't look for Marin, it came up, I think I
Okay.
do that before?
Bay
Okay.
Area, but
Yeah, but you said they had things that grow well, assuming there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it described what
Okay.
grew well in the greater area and what didn't.
Okay.
Okay.
And we
And-
can also think about the fact that we can water our tree, so it doesn't.
Well, it will get more water than it wants, probably.
I think
Well,
it's good to
try to
look
get
at,
that right.
yeah, all the different avenues and the different
Yeah.
types of trees there are, and see what Ross comes up with too, with the guy that he
Absolutely.
knows. And then Michelle and I are going to do a road trip this month before our next meeting and look south and look at the trees that are with the same climate that we have.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I meant that just as a starting point, not
Right.
this is the
Yeah,
list.
That's
okay.
a starting point.
Great. No problem then.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right.
It's coming, that's like, I started drafting it, so it's coming soon.
Excellent. Lippman Science Fair judging, I know that's not till the December.
January, February,
I think
yeah.
so. All right, and then PCA grant application, and we had a meeting, yes.
We met and we kind of had an open, like, what does anybody think would be a good project? And we came up with a couple of things, and then on the staff level, we did kind of bounce these around, so I've got a little feedback that I guess might as well give you now. So the first idea was, this is the background, was purchasing the land that the Mission Blue Nursery is on, and beyond that, to extend a trail that connects under the tunnel to Crocker Trail, so that people could come from town, come from transit, go to the nursery, wrap around, and go use the Crocker Trail. So it's got a habitat restoration, native plant, and recreation aspect to it. There was also some talk about on that property where the nursery is, that there's some wetland area in the northeast corner, and potentially preserving that. And we also talked about, because that's at Bayshore and Valley, the nursery, pretty close, a trail down from, or a path from the bus stop or from the intersection. And then also, connectivity down to Bayshore and Old County, because the commute.org shuttle stops there, there's a park and ride there. And potentially having a path on the east side of the channel,
Icehouseville, yeah. Oh,
of the channel itself, and you could go on the east side of the channel and then cross the little bridge and get back down to Bayshore. So that was one idea.
Yep.
And then the second idea was the Guadalupe Creek, or the drainage channels in Crocker Industrial Park, as we refer to them, clearing those out, so cutting back what's grown, getting all the dirt out of the creek, so that number one, it fixes the drainage, so I know there's city interest in that, and it allows for possibly some growth of native plants. Some of it's concrete, some of it's natural, but when there's sediment in it, plants are growing. That's kind of what happened in the Cypress wetlands area. So you could have some plants, native plants, you could have some frogs and wildlife, and weren't that one? Tell me. we had other, well, the connectivity was that we're doing other work on the Crocker Trail. We're trying to make it kind of a destination place to recreate, and then you have kind of a native aspect. Oh, interpretive signs in both cases, having informational interpretive signs. Am I missing anything?
Yeah, the potential for the railroad tunnel becoming part of the whole trail system, connecting it and having pedestrian access around the east side of Ice House Hill, which would connect it to the Baylands on this side of the tracks and going through the then so that people could come down and go through the tunnel into Crocker Industrial Park. And also just the whole connectivity of it, and then that trail also leading up onto San Bruno Mountain through Wax Myrtle Canyon.
That
So
sounds like a great, ambitious project. I love it.
we went pretty far along in our discussion when then we looked at the match and we found that they're giving you 25% of any project and you have to come up with the other 75%
75.
funding. So if you have another, you could possibly leverage other projects that you're doing that are, and call them one big project. So kind of scratching our heads on that. So to acquire land for the Mission Blue Nursery, you need a willing seller at the time you apply. So that's something we haven't explored yet. But I did want to say that we talked to the Public Works Director, like, hey, we want to bounce these couple of ideas off of you, and, you know, how do you think we should pursue them? And for the Mission Blue Nursery, I say that at a meeting, he said, well, if there's a development, maybe that's, they want to donate the land. When some development is determined, maybe they would do that as a donation, because what you had mentioned about the tax benefit of doing so. So, and of course, we have an interest with the drainage that he thought that the Guadalupe Channel was a better, or Guadalupe Creek was a better project because the city might put up some of the money. We have the Crocker Trail resurfacing money that we could leverage.
Which would be our
against that.
75%.
But what we talked about is the first thing is we're kind of going to get some order magnitude costs. And then we're going to meet again and rethink what would be a good application. So the application isn't out yet, but we're trying to be ready.
Yeah.
When it does
So
come.
we're ready when it is.
Probably only give us a month or two to apply.
Yeah. And it's true that it's a BHAG, a big hairy ass idea. You know, it's like, whoa. But I just think that it'd be so amazing to do it all. Do it all. You know, have that vision of restoring the creek, putting it all part of the whole Guadalupe trail system, hooking it up to the Bay Trail, and, you know, having that whole corridor kind of open space, natural space, habitat. The nursery supplies plants for, you know, the county, for San Bruno Mountain, for PG&E, for various construction projects around the mountain. So it's a valuable asset. So, yeah, it was really gratifying to see so many different people come together and kind of brainstorm that idea. So
We talked a little bit about the Brisbane Acres and whether we thought it would make a good project to do more than we do in the acres in terms of invasive species management and do any habitat restoration or anything with the trails. And I would say, maybe not the consensus, but the majority opinion was that it didn't have the same regional significance, so it probably wouldn't be as good of a project. And there were a couple reasons not to.
And it might not fit the requirements.
Yeah.
that was more it. I mean, it has a regional significance
Just isn't going to fit their requirements.
environmentally and habitat-wise, but not at the level that people would respond to for a PCA.
No.
But we did talk about using the idea of having a charitable donation idea for people willing to donate land or acres, and thinking about reformulating our letter and reaching out to people who own acres that are sensitive habitat. We talked about that, and that's something we might want to do as a committee, not in relation to the PCA, but in relation to our acres habitat acquisition
Is there a cap on the PCA grant on how much we would get?
So the first round, they haven't released it, so we don't know, but the first round that was in 2013, there was $5 million for the North Bay and $5 million federally for the peninsula, the East Bay, and the
South Bay.
South Bay.
Okay.
South Bay, and then the Coastal Conservancy put in another 2.45 million, so that 8.2 million funded 12 projects and they varied from maybe around 100,000 minimum to like $1 million.
Okay.
I think there was one that was $1.3 million or something like that you said the other day.
But wasn't that
It might
split
be
up or
over.
something by?
There were
No.
it funded 12 projects.
12
in the
projects, yeah.
Peninsula, East Bay, and South Bay.
Yeah. So,
So it's got to be a good project.
Yeah.
and this time, what was the estimate? We were thinking that it might be more like $16 million total, split between north and south, or something.
Yeah. So it'd be 13.
13.
So we would have to come up with a project worth at least 4 to 5 million to try and get, right? No?
Well, if it were a $4 million project, they would fund $1 million if
Right,
they were awarded.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 25%.
If we had the other 3 million
Yeah. I was-
identified.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I know,
Right.
yeah.
We have to figure that part out.
So first, yeah, we came at it from what are the projects we want? Let's see what the costs are, and
Yeah.
then scratch our heads. But we would have to develop or leverage existing funding
Right.
sources
That's
At this point.
right. You have to
for
get
25%.
creative and
Wait, I had no idea that they were only funding 25%.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thought it might have been, if you
The
put
other way
20%
around,
out,
75-25 the other way.
Yes.
It is audacious.
Yeah. So it's perfect if we can fit it with other funds that we're using.
Right.
And I don't know if I'd mentioned, I think I mentioned to the full committee, and one of the things that we could possibly leverage is that we are proceeding with the design to repair the Guadalupe Channel, the scour at the turn, so it comes out under Bay Shore near the fire station, makes a right-hand turn, goes south, makes a left-hand turn, and goes under the little bridge, tunnel bridge, railroad bridge, and out to the lagoon.
Right.
So we're gonna repair that. We're gonna use geocell, which is stacked and then is secured into the banks and then can be planted. So I'm gonna tell you more about that project as we get further along and we get towards construction, because we're pretty much gonna remove all the vegetation along the channel, rebuild the channel, and everything's gonna have to grow back. It's gonna look different for a number of years, but it's
Wow.
gonna be able to be planted with native plants.
Native plants right there.
Karen, is that something where we should already start growing for that?
We just had the kickoff meeting, and we have to get all of the permits, U.S. Army Corps, Fish and Wildlife, BCDC, whatever's required. So we're hoping construction will be next summer.
And what is
Right.
the budget on that?
Design and construction is about 600,000 to 700,000.
Okay.
Okay, because there will be a learning curve for growing the marsh plants and native to this area.
Mm.
And also, it depends on the size of the plants that the project would want. So as soon as we can
No, something like that.
have something like that, we can start growing.
Yeah, so we'll
Because it takes a while. It's not like going to Target.
Right. And just for a little background, this is part of the development agreement with the Northeast Ridge to repair that channel.
Good.
But there's been just a lot of back and forth. It's been kind of a project of mine for,
Since you
13
started.
years or something, because originally they funded it and we were going to oversee I can't remember who. They started the design and we were reviewing it, and I reviewed, that went up to 70%. It was when Philip Batchelder was with Mountain Watch. He reviewed the plans, we worked together. And then I think the developer had started and they passed it to us, and we had trouble entering into an agreement with the consultant because we had different requirements. So we kind of put it on hold. and then we were gonna give it back to Brookfield, and then Brookfield sold to Toll Brothers.
Oh,
And
Wow.
eventually it came back to us, and we said, we need to fix this channel, so finally underway.
Yeah, and that was from the runoff from the development.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know that.
Wow.
So anyways, that could be, since that project is happening, those dollars, which aren't huge, but still could be leveraged
Yeah.
against another project.
Cool. All right.
So thank you for that
Yeah.
reading, though. It was really,
Yeah,
really good.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
That was really good. So 280 South Hill funds, Miss Mary.
Yeah, so I think we talked a little bit about that last time, and we haven't met. So I
Yeah.
don't know the details behind all of that.
Right, so that's Stuart Schillinger,
Okay.
he was at a recent meeting, finance director, administrative services, that staffed that with the past people involved. And I asked him, and he said, yeah, we can meet again and we can talk about adding Quarry Road or modifying what we're doing. I don't think it's nothing set in stone, and at this time we're still trying to quantify how much for each, so we can have another meeting. We're still looking into this Firth Canyon, and that was the first step, is to figure out if we can do that for a minimal amount of money, and then figure out what to do with the rest of it.
Yeah, it would be sort of, I don't want to say, it would be relevant to use the South Hill funds to help the Guadalupe Creek restoration.
To leverage
Mhm.
against if we were applying for a project, right?
Yeah.
And we had talked, Glenn, you weren't here last month, but we talked about Quarry Road, and Mary's question was could some of the money go towards kind of rehabilitating plants?
Cleaning it up and,
Yeah.
yeah.
Quarry Road.
Yeah, it really is a mess.
I haven't been down there for a while.
Yeah.
But if we had, I guess the representative would probably be interested in knowing from the total committee if there was X amount of dollars and you could use them all on Quarry or all on Crocker. Is there a preference, or do we want to share? Or she's going to then meet with staff and give the feedback for the full committee.
Okay.
I think one of the things that, when I think about that, is what work is possible to do with volunteers and what work isn't. And Quarry Road, we've cleaned it well before and done good jobs with it with a cadre of volunteers that just really worked hard on that. And maybe that would be something that,
Habitat Restoration
should-
Day?
But I'm not just talking about cleaning it.
oh, no, I'm talking about major plant,
Yeah, the thing is that the on the north side of the road, the hillside is falling away, the trees are falling away. There's big heavy trees there. I'm not sure.
I need to have more than volunteers.
Yeah, I think some of it is actually going to need heavy equipment, to get the trees out of there. I mean,
do you mean the embankment between the school property and Quarry Road, or from Quarry Road down to Crocker Industrial?
from Quarry Road down to Crocker.
Okay.
Yeah, trees are falling down, they're falling over, the ivy is just insane.
Yeah, there's definitely some creep in that hillside.
Yeah.
So what do we need to do to reallocate some of those funds? I mean, do we have the ability to, do we have say, or does that come from staff, or? I mean, because if you prioritize the projects, right, it sounds like Quarry needs it the most.
Well,
It's
interesting.
possible that the hillside between Quarry Road and Crocker Park, a lot of the trees have fallen. Some of them have been cut. It could be that the road itself is at risk. There are parts of Quarry Road, there are, dips in it. So
Yeah.
it not only needs to have the dead stuff cleared out of there, it probably needs to be planted so that the hillside and the road are stabilized.
And
I'm not an engineer, but it
And-
doesn't look good to me.
this actually ties in with the Guadalupe Creek project, because that is part of Guadalupe Creek where all these trees are falling down into. So it's all part of the same thing. That whole swath along there, from where the Quarry Road, where the meets South Hill, towards the east, that whole area along there, that's one of the areas that needs to be rehabilitated for the water to go through. It's one of the areas that flooded this year in the heavy rain days. And a lot of the debris that's in the creek has come down the hillside from Quarry Road, the trees and also stuff that people have. So it is part of the same project, actually. When you talked about it before, I was thinking of the part between Quarry Road and the school, not from Quarry Road down to Crocker. But the part from Quarry Road down to Crocker is in really bad shape, and that's reflected in the creek.
And I think it's, in a way, it's a good problem to have. There's some money and we can figure out how to
Yeah.
spend it. But since it's two committee representatives, one committee, one commission, the Park and Rec Commission, so they want some of the money for, I think, their vision for Crocker Trail, and I don't know specifically, but it was to make it a destination and make it might have been like art or murals or things that make people want to come and use it recreationally or for commute reasons. So, they're going to want some of the money. We're not going to have full discretion with all of that $250,000 necessarily, but for Mary's, like, if they're both important, we want to split it between the two, or one is, we isolate one and do it first and look for other money to do the other. That's kind of, and if we don't know, Mary can check back at a future meetings. I don't want to put you guys on the spot, but that's kind of what's.
I mean, it sounds to
We
me
thought
like
about
one's like a must-have, and the other's a nice-to-have, right? So, I mean, you're talking possible safety issues with Quarry Road.
I think that Crocker, where that drainage channel is full, that's also pretty important too.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it seems like it would be helpful if somebody that knows more about this than I do would go out Quarry Road and see what we're talking about.
It's not a vehicular road anymore, so, I mean, I wouldn't want it to be unsafe, but if it were narrower,
You can drive on
wouldn't be
it.
the end.
It's small. You're not supposed to, but
I don't think it's an immediate safety issue. It's just that that whole hillside is sort of falling down.
it's slumping.
Yeah.
It's better to take care of it before the road falls down. When you got to pick it up and put it back, it's more expensive.
I know.
Generally.
So is that the committee's priority then?
No, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't feel like I have a set list of priorities. I'd want to go through and look at the council's list, and I'd want to look at our list, and I want to look at, the Parks and Recs list, and maybe get feedback from the community and kind of make a master list would be my way to approach it. But all the projects that have been brought up here sound amazing. I mean, I really love what Michelle was talking about, making a whole connectivity with recreation and everything. That's definitely got the most wow factor, but sometimes the things that need to get done the most aren't wowy.
And the section of the Crocker.
So yeah, I guess I'm just saying I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other. I want a magic wand and doing them all. That's my preference.
The section of the trail and the creek that Glenn and I are talking about is heavily used, and it connects right here and goes up and connects to, and it's part of the walking trail from central Brisbane to the ridge that people use. And it is heavily used. And this year it was, flooded a couple of times, and, so it is an important part of the whole connectivity issue between central Brisbane and the Northeast Ridge. So,
You know what my little pet project might be? This has nothing to do with anything, but I'm just going to throw it out there, is to have a place to go camping. Because right now I drive out past San Jose to go camping. That's my nearest camping spot. And so many of the state parks, they fill up the day that the sites go live. It's like camping sites are all gone that day unless you're ADA, unless you can qualify for one of the ADA sites. And it's just crazy. I thought about joining Good Sam. I got to go down to San Luis Obispo or something like that. And it's just crazy. I mean, people need a way to enjoy nature without maybe driving 2 hours. Be nice.
I love camping.
I love camping.
Okay.
All right, well, it's,
It's definitely an unmet need. Let's put it that way.
So what are the next steps?
well, at this point, the money
Talking
is,
about all these different ideas and, what do we do to get stuff moving?
the money's sitting in a fund, and we're trying to cost, the Firth desires that were put forth from the committee. And then from there, see if it's, I mean, we're not gonna spend that money without checking with the representatives.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be the time when we have that cost to talk about, do we even wanna do anything at Firth, or do we wanna take the money and apply it other places?
Cool.
So, to
We-
be clear, do I need to meet with Stuart?
I'll,
Staff that you
we'll be in
can
touch to
ask?
set it up,
Okay.
yeah.
Alright. Thank you.
You're just standing by till we have better,
Yeah.
better information for you.
Oh, good. And then the signboard replacement, I know with Parks and Rec that Ross met with them, and they had a really great meeting. I know we talked about that. We have not met since. We have not had a meeting. But even Renee Marmont, who's been around forever, was like, oh my God, the guy had a lot of great ideas to bring to that. So,
I will say I was really heartened at our last meeting when he talked about the e-ink
Yeah.
possibilities.
Yep.
That's a game changer, you know, and that just really is exciting to think about doing that instead of, you know, I'm really happy about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then next is liaison for tree ordinance. Ms. Abel.
So Ken Johnson sent out an email, and I was the only one to reply. So we have not been able to organize that
Okay.
meeting, I'm afraid.
I believe he sent out 2, so
Yes.
we're just about at the point that you'll be the only one that gets to have input.
There we go.
There you go.
We're gonna
Good.
proceed, so
All right.
you'll hear
Take it.
soon. Ken's off this week, but you'll hear from him soon.
Great. Yeah. I mean, if the planning commission doesn't want to participate, I'll do it.
That's what I told him.
Yep. Okay.
Should we go back to the minutes to be, how are you, did you get a chance to review the minutes?
Yes. I have reviewed the minutes, and I am comfortable with the minutes, so I will.
Oh.
Wait.
Perfect.
I move that we approve the minutes from last meeting.
Excellent. Everybody,
Is there a
Okay.
second?
all right.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nobody, well, you abstain. Minutes are approved.
Calendar items, I guess, is next.
Yep, calendar items.
Is Sunset Scavenger still coming next meeting? South San Francisco Scavengers?
I think we put them off one.
No, we actually are going to push that back. We are actually going to have the CAP consultants
Oh, okay.
here
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
next
looking at
meeting,
August.
and I'll
You're
go
looking-
through that a little bit more
Yeah.
in the staff updates.
Staff updates.
Grand.
And they're just collecting information for the annual report, so they may not be at our September
Right.
meeting. Maybe a little bit. I think last year they were,
November.
yeah. But we'll get that right. So not much else on the calendar. I think we
Perfect.
need to think about.
Next, I think, is staff update.
Yeah.
Yes. There we are.
Did you know that you were here last month, Glenn? we saved a chair for you, and Caroline did some Photoshop magic
She did
to
a
get you
really
all
good
in that
job.
one shot.
Photoshopping you in there.
Good job.
That's awesome.
We should have had tall Claire in the middle.
Stay back there.
Well, I have mastered the art of being in 2 places at once, so.
That's amazing. You would not know that you were not at the meeting.
Anyone else have any committee member update matters that they want to bring up and talk about, possibly agenda? I don't know.
had something and I forgot what it was.
I remember you said something earlier, and I can't remember what it was now. All right. Well, then next. Staff updates. Woo-hoo.
Okay, so for the coastal cleanup, we've made a lot of progress, worked with Parks and Rec. So we've got a tentative plan to do the off of Harney Road. So we're gonna come out with a advertising campaign for that, and it'll be everyone will meet at the marina, and we'll shuttle out to the site because there's no parking out there, and it's not a real safe place for pickups and drop-offs. So it'll be meet at the marina, shuttle out, and take care of the garbage off of Harney.
Okay.
In the location. So that'll be for the September, and then as far as some of the other stuff I've been working on, like the PCA, I'm doing some online kind of mapping databases. So I think in the future everyone can look at the same online interactive map, and I'm doing that for some vegetation management and PCA, and the county shared some of their shape files today, but it's in a weird format because I wanted to show you, but I don't know how to transform and bring them in, so I'll figure that out before next meeting. And so I want to start doing some more online databases where we can all look, and anyway, everyone's on the same page for some of the different issues we have.
Bob, on Monday, I got on the freeway at Candlestick, where Harney Way is, and I was looking at that area and just thinking, oh my God, how much it needs it. And I'm so glad that we're doing this, and I'm so, so grateful for the work you've done to the whole team to enable this. It really is an area, and then meanwhile, the lagoon looks really good.
Yeah, that was the other thing when I went with Jeff. He's like, well, we always do the lagoon, and we went for a ride. And I was like, I can't find a piece of trash at the lagoon, so
Yeah.
that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And we're still having a trash issue right when they come off the freeway, and I don't know
Yeah.
what to do about that.
But at the lagoon itself, I looked for trash. I was like, I just want to find one piece, and I couldn't find any. So
So what has made the big difference? Because it used to reliably fill up every year.
I'll tell you one of the things that I think has made a huge difference
Garbage
there
can, right?
is those garbage dumpsters at
At
Fisherman's Park, where they actually put stuff in, and then sort of the cleaning up of Fisherman's Park has made a huge difference.
I think they see too. I think after a while, when it's clean and you start doing it. And I think, like you said, the garbage does a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So I'm really excited about September 15th.
Is that when it is? The 15th?
Yeah.
yeah, so we'll be advertising that somewhat soon. We'll wanted to get this one out of the way, the recent one, and so anyway,
Can't wait to see your poster.
I'll have to outdo myself. That's all right. That's all I've got.
I already talked about 3 of mine, so I just wanted to update you that I did send a request to Caltrans a week ago for an EV charger sign on 101 for the.
Oh yeah, what'd they say?
Well,
Nothing.
I sent it. I sent it from me on their District 4. Just contact us, and they said this needs to be an official request from the city or county. So then I sent it from me officially. We are the city or county, and we would like this sign. I haven't heard back, so I just sent it.
Okay.
Okay. I have a few. So let's see, we've covered that. We have been in touch, as you heard from Julia, with the Green Business Program at the county, and they know that we're working through that certification for ourselves. So they asked if we might be willing to host a Green Business Lunch and Learn, which I think we will be doing. So September 6th, probably right here in this room, presumably, we'll be hosting that with the county. We are finalizing the contract for the Air District grant, so that's moving along. Karen and I met with James Talea from Home Intel yesterday and his colleague Travis, whose last name I don't know. And we were talking about ways that we could further promote signing up for the program, and really kind of took a deep dive on how we can market that program. And one of the things that we would like to do is to find some influencers in town who can really help to get signed up, go through the program, and then talk about it in person, talk about it on social media, all of that kind of stuff. So for those of you who haven't yet signed up, here's your friendly reminder, brisbane.hea.com. And if you have, I know Michelle, he did have your name on the list. He knew we had another committee member. So if you are interested in, kind of working with him and doing some of that, they're hoping that we'll have a few people who will have some good testimonials, would be willing to be interviewed and be in a short video, those kind of things. Yeah. So first step is, getting a few more people in and getting through that process. And then, we'd love your ideas, maybe not necessarily that you have to throw out names right now, but if you have some ideas about people in town that we should maybe tap on the shoulder and say, hey, we'd really like to get you involved in this and use your influence to encourage other community members to sign up, let us know.
Talk to the city council and all the other committees and all the planning and everybody, kind of at each meeting and just not push them? Kindly.
We're thinking that people that are sustainability minded would be the ideal, but that doesn't mean that other people on other committees aren't. And
Yeah.
a good candidate.
Well, I do think. I know we will, but.
Yeah, I signed up but haven't done anything about it yet. So.
And we had Ross in mind because.
That's true.
Yeah, Ross has signed up, I'm sure. I think yeah.
Ross signed up or he attempted. I attempted it and then I got lost in something. Couldn't get it to work.
Kind of commit in the beginning, but then it becomes a lot easier once you give it a little time to
Give it some time.
get exposed.
Yeah. I'll do it tomorrow.
So following up on our conversation from last month with Keegan on the Adopt a Spot stations idea, that was something that he was very interested in trying out. So we've been discussing, staff has been discussing possibly doing a little pilot at a couple of locations. We've identified, I think, 6, which is maybe more than we'll actually, we may not do all of those, but try out a few locations and see how it goes, creating a little waste station with bags and
I'm really excited about that. I think
signage. Yeah,
great.
Well, Michelle just brought a whole bunch of bags there. And
These are mine. Keep your hands off.
So we are moving forward with that, and we'll kind of keep you updated and see where we go. Yeah.
It sounds like though we were going to do the leave a bag, take a bag in the residential areas or areas accessed from town like Quarry Road, but one of the spots Keegan would like to try one out on South Hill. And that maybe doesn't seem like a good location for leave a bag, take a bag, so we'll just supply it with a roll of bags.
Okay.
And we'll try to put them close to trash cans, so you pass them, take the bag, and there will be signage that says what it's for.
Right.
You found a similar program in San Diego that was Adopt a Beach, and been doing really well.
Good.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, that one in Emeryville was for that little tiny beach there. There's a little where the Emeryville spit comes around and then it goes the beach along there. So, yeah.
I didn't have time to stop and take a picture because I had a meeting, but yesterday I drove down South Hill and there was 3 guys out with forklifts and garbage bags and pickers from not city guys. There was no cones or vests, but they were in the woods and right where all the semis park, and they were all filling up. Yeah, they had pallet jacks.
Is that Jericho Project maybe?
It might be by.
Might have been Jericho.
I'm guessing it was by right because they were on like
Oh.
like it was kind of in front of by right, but I don't know if they just didn't want to carry the garbage, so they all had pallet jacks.
Huh.
But they were in the woods and they were pretty thorough. They had big full bags and they were all, so that was kind of nice.
Nice.
Well, we should find out who it is so we can say thank you
Yeah.
to them.
Where was that again, Paul?
It was on South Hill Drive. I had a meeting, so I didn't.
Okay.
Get a chance to
Like,
stop.
I was-
I mean, maybe we could just say, by right, was this you guys picking up out there?
On the other hand, they are supposed to keep it
Yeah.
clean.
It's their job.
That was a condition of getting that parking.
But it is always nice
Yeah.
to acknowledge.
That's when they actually.
Yes.
More of the just acknowledging. So we
How many
felt-
things are people supposed to do that they don't? I mean,
So it's nice when they actually do.
yes.
Oh, I thought I.
Did you have another question on that item? I have one more staff update item,
ahead.
but if you had a question about that. Okay. So the last one is about the CAP update. So we have been kind of going back and forth with the consultants and are working on a timeline that we think will work. They are supposed to be sending the template and measures to me imminently, so I imagine that's what we're going to be focusing on with the CAP subcommittee next week, and then we'll have the consultants here at the meeting next month to present, because we really, it's a very short timeline to fit with what they know they have funding for, which is just this calendar year. So we're, trying to work out how exactly that will work, and want to get started right away as soon as we can. So we'll have that conversation next month. And let's see, what else did I want to tell you about that? We had discussed at the CAP subcommittee potential for a participatory budgeting style kind of workshop with a carbon budget to get to our goals. So we're looking into that, whether we might be able to do something like that. Unclear at this point if it's going to be possible, especially with the short timeline, but we're checking into that. So hopefully we'll have more for you at the subcommittee next week.
Sounds good. So I did have one thing. A week ago Sunday, I was coming from the marina back into town. It was like 6:30 at night, and there was huge amounts of dust swirling up from the quarry. And also, a couple of weeks ago, I was out on Quarry Road during the middle of a weekday, and there were several trucks that came by with loads of dirt, not rock, but dirt, going to the quarry that weren't covered. Some were covered, but about half of them weren't covered. And I took pictures, and I took pictures of the trucks and brought them down here, and I was told that I should just call the police when I see that. But I'm wondering if there's and I did call Bay Area Air Quality Control on Monday, because my phone was dead on Sunday when I saw that, and complained about it. But there is a huge amount of fugitive dust coming out of the quarry with this new soils dumping that they're doing there. And I don't know what to do about it other than to alert people to call Bay Area Air Quality Control, Bay Area Air Quality Management District about it. I don't know if we can lodge a complaint, ask the county to look into it, since the quarry is technically the county, although the trucks that are coming through uncovered come through Brisbane. And so I don't know where else to bring it up, except that this is an ecology issue. It's a health issue as well. And I don't know if anybody else has noticed that extreme amount of dust that we have now. Much
Yeah,
more.
somebody else just posted on Facebook. There's just clouds coming out of the quarry.
Clouds of
And I don't know, what is this soils dumping thing
Well,
they're
because
doing?
I believe the Baylands is closed to any new soils coming in right now. So they've been diverted to the quarry, and the quarry's taking truck after truck after truck after truck of dirt.
So are they like filling up the quarry?
I have no idea. I don't know. I haven't hiked up there to look, but I sure see a lot of trucks coming in. So
I mean, they got to have a permit to do that. It has to be done.
it's through the county. So I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know. I'm just raising the
Okay.
issue.
You know, it's just your issues raising issues.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Like complications are developing complications.
But it is an issue of public health, the amount of dust that's coming out of the quarry, fugitive dust that's leaving the site and coming this way. And there's also a huge amount of dust coming from the construction on the marina as well.
I was just going to speak to what I do know about particularly is the trucks on city streets, and we did, the Public Works Director communicated with the CHP and had, I don't know, what is it called when it's set up a stop?
Vehicle inspection.
Yes, a vehicle inspection about 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
For maybe it was more than a day. It was the whole day, just outside of the quarry, and I wasn't directly involved. I didn't get feedback, but we are aware it's a problem, and I don't know, maybe it wasn't effective if you saw them more recently than that, but
I think it was about
Probably-
3 weeks ago, actually.
could be different drivers, at this
Yeah.
time, and maybe it,
But the amount of
Haven't
fugitive
yet.
dust was like a week ago. A week ago last Sunday.
yeah.
And that could be from them dumping it.
But it was a Sunday evening, but I see it all, whenever there's any wind up, there's this swirling dust that comes out of it.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to be watering that or something.
Well, they're supposed
No,
to, but,
obviously not.
so I don't know if we have any recourse to contact the county or whose purview that is to control it, but Brisbane is suffering. Look, even Adrian's coughing. But it really has been bad. There's been a lot of dust, a lot more than there usually is. So, sorry. I knew there was something icky I wanted to bring up.
It's okay.
But if people, want to call the Bay Area Air Quality Control and complain when they see this dust, it would be really helpful because, I can't be the only person who sees it, and it's.
Did you get any response when you?
Usually, Dick, the investigator, calls me back, but this time he didn't. The phone number is 1-800-334-6367 to call and complain. So, I have it on speed dial. It is really
That's
sad.
sad.
It really is sad. And the same thing for the dust coming off the Baylands, but the quarry now is the big dust thing that's really impacting Brisbane, central Brisbane.
Yeah, Lori Graham posted 10 hours ago of something, just clouds coming out of the quarry.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I'll ask and try to find who the contact is at the county. It's probably just as good to have residents calling as staff, but
Yeah,
we'll let you know.
but we should find out who it is at the county that we call.
Right,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah. Because they're obviously not behaving correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll look into it.
All right. That was it for me.
Claire just sent us an email apologizing.
I want to just remind all the citizens of Brisbane to recycle this Saturday at the citywide, at reuse and repurpose this Saturday at the Brisbane citywide garage sale. Woohoo!
Adrian mentioned that we got the 2 videos in a format that we think we can
Oh, let's watch them.
Yeah.
Let's see.
possibly,
That would be awesome. Let's see. Yay.
and I'll write it down if it does work.
Looks like it.
No, that's what happened.
Oh,
That's the same thing.
Computer. I can play them here. I can't play them
Oh.
here.
I wonder what's up with that.
Maybe.
Need something
Can
updated.
they come watch here when,
Something
when
updated.
the meeting is over?
yeah,
or
if
is
you
that-
want to see them, you can.
We'll just come stand around Adrian's computer.
Yeah, the only
it just
reason, we
plug and play?
exclusively use that laptop is the display might not be perfect, but it's probably still better than a document reader.
Yeah, it's better than what we saw already.
So it's still on.
Stand by.
No, he still can't get it. Did the same thing it did last time. All right.
Next meeting.
And the next meeting is what, August
August 15th.
15th,
At 6:30.
6:30. We don't have anything else to talk about. I believe the meeting is adjourned.
we're-
No? Oh, you're going to put it up?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Wait,
Never
we
mind.
gotta
Just
adjourn.
switch
Never mind, we're not adjourned.
Push this in here.
I didn't think you were going to get it.
Oh, hang on.
So we can see it up here anyway. Oh, perfect. There you go.
Hang on. Let's make sure we've got sound.
Loud.
Oh, what did, well, that was over there.
Oh dear.
Caroline said, plug in the audio jack on the laptop. Yep.
Given that noise.
Speaker issue. Like in the front row of the movie theater, in a really good movie. I think I saw, oh, what was the name of the scary movie? Front row.
Yeah, I've seen some.
The sound.
I don't know, now I don't know where the sound went.
Before you had sound but no video, now we have video but no sound. Nuts.
Point it down. Well,
Where's the speaker on this thing? No,
No sound.
it doesn't want to work while everyone is watching, apparently. So,
Okay, so everybody, I want just crawl under the dais for a minute. So
I
that,
think it's probably the setup, but
okay.
well, we're soon to post them, so if you want to watch
Yeah.
it after
Yeah,
the
yeah,
meeting
it's
on the
okay.
laptop, we can show them. And you guys have to make a motion to adjourn. it.
Oh, yes, so I make a motion to adjourn.
I.
Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Excellent, we're adjourned.
In the future, the chair can't make the
Oh,
motion.
I can't make the motion, can I? No, I think we're okay. I think everybody said.